front of me. I didn't even know what it was, just saw this blur. And my mind knew that it was a vehicle. And my thought was, idiot. And then there was this enormous, loud explosion, noise, sound. I can't explain it. Now I know what it was, but at the time I didn't know what it was, but it was two things. First, it was the fact that I hit a truck. The second thing was that it was my airbag shooting out like a gun shot, and obviously doing what airbag does. I had a few minutes there, seconds, felt like minutes, that I couldn't understand what was going on. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't feel anything. I didn't know what it was. There was no sounds. It was just peace. There was just a few seconds that seemed like just a very long time. And I remember saying out, I guess in my mind, my heart, I don't know if it was words literally out of my mouth. I have no idea. But I said, God, I'm in a wreck. I didn't know what a wreck was. I've never been in one. I remember trying to fight to see. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't see anything. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't feel anything. I had no feeling. It's like I wasn't there. I was told that I was probably knocked out. Okay. So I was knocked out. I really thought I died. I don't know. God is the only one that knows. I have no idea. I was in the car by myself, so there's no one else to be able to tell me. But when I did come to, I saw my car heading towards a stop sign and running right smack over it, and going into a ditch and then up an embankment and into a field. Later finding out that my car went 40 feet off the highway. I was going east, and suddenly I was turning a totally different direction. And 40 feet south, I guess, I was going, or turned to. And when my car stopped, I remember just sort of sitting back because I didn't have any choice. I was trapped. And I had the most awful amount of pain in my neck and chest and back between my shoulders. I remember my first thought, other than being very afraid. I said, God, I guess I'm not dead. Because if I was dead, I don't think I'd feel this much pain. Paramedics were coming and sticking their heads, coming towards my car. And I remember thinking, God, thank you for me not dying. But can I ask you to help me with this pain? I couldn't hardly breathe. Everything just hurt. And I was afraid. I'd never hurt like that before. They put oxygen on me and a brace on my neck and cut my seatbelt, pulled my door open and pulled me out. When I was sitting in the car, I had seen a hole in my windshield right above my steering wheel. There was this hole, and I remember thinking, while those guys was putting this brace on my neck and stuff, I'm thinking, wow, there's a hole in my in my windshield. Why is there a hole in my windshield? And how are these men getting in my car? I thought I had my windows up. How can they be getting in and sticking their heads in? And I began to just wonder what in the world was going on. And I thought, well, I need to call my husband. And I got my cell phone off of my hip, and I knew he was my last number to call. And so I just pushed for the last number called, and I went to put the phone up to my ear so I can tell my husband I've been in a wreck. And I got the phone out and I pushed the button and I went to bring the phone up, but my arm couldn't come up. I could bend it, but I couldn't get it to my ear. So I had to switch to my other hand. Neither hand could go up. So this guy whose head was hanging into the door over at me, I asked him, I said, could you please tell my husband I've been in a wreck? So he gets the phone and he tells it. Long story short, that there was a young teenager who was driving a pickup truck, had pulled out in front. And he said he didn't see me. His 14-year-old passenger had stated that he had seen me coming. And I didn't see them. They were just sort of like suddenly there. And at 55 miles an hour, without moving my foot off the gas in any way, form, or fashion, I just hit right in their passenger wheel well. And then in hitting them, then it turned again, I hit again, and then we both sort of went different directions, but in the same field. Thankfully, those two boys were fine, or I hope they still are, but they were taken to one hospital, I was taken to another. Long story short, I've had to go through 12 medical professionals, 4.5 months of physical therapy, 2 surgeries, broken rib, bruised lung, and seatbelt damage bruising that created at least 3 known cysts in the seatbelt bruised area that at some point may need to be removed, but not yet. Knees went into the dash, and bruising on my